Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Beyond the Max / On the Mic with Mike. This interview we recorded on audio and video form. And I got to say, first and foremost, it's always a pleasure and a privilege to do what I get to do and interview so many amazing people of all facets of life and give them the platform to tell their story, like I am going to do with today's guest, Raine Cruz, TikTok announcer, doing her thing at SummerSlam, won the contest. Congratulations. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. How are you?
I am doing good. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
First and foremost, I got to say this, man. I was watching the SummerSlam kickoff, Big E versus Baron Corbin. You won. SummerSlam was an amazing event all around, but my dad and I were actually watching this. I got to tell you, because my dad got me into pro wrestling. We were talking about, my God, she was good. My dad loved you. I loved you. You did an amazing job at SummerSlam. Let's just get that out of the way right there.
Oh, you guys are so nice. Thank you. That's really kind of you guys. I appreciate it.
Very welcome. I look at it from a stance too, like how amazing is it that with the influx of social media, from your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok being all the rage now, WWE had this amazing contest and you put your name in the hat and boom, you won. How amazing is that for you, Raine?
To be honest with you, it's been a few weeks since SummerSlam, and I still can't believe it because prior to the contest, I didn't have a TikTok account. I had one like last year, but I didn't really know how to use it. So I uninstalled it. And then when I found out about the contest, I was like, of course it's on TikTok. I don't have TikTok. So I had to download TikTok just to join a contest. And I remember I had to ask for help from my wrestling friends at my dojo in Orange County to kind of like help me navigate TikTok. Cause I was like, I don't know how this thing works, but I want to join this contest. Can you help me?
Well, I got to say, first and foremost, being technologically, I'm going to say not the best as well. I understand because when TikTok first started, I was also like, okay, because, we had our Vines back in the day. I'm like, it's similar to it, but it's just like, okay, it's another one of these things. But yeah, no, it's interesting just because, like I said, the new craze with the TikTok, how WWE has really incorporated it in the views and the millions of views and what have you. But man, like I said, it's one of those things where it's an influx, it's a positivity from a stance of, hey, we get to have fun and we get to do these contests. And I actually did see a lot of your work from introducing Bianca and Sasha, from Roman and Cena, the whole nine. Like you hit the nail in the park on those, man. I really enjoyed those videos.
Oh my God, thank you. Yeah, because like to me, my mindset was like, okay, so WWE basically they released a few duets with WWE that you can do on TikTok as a part of the contest. Now that's a part of the rules of the contest. Basically, you create a duet with the ring entrance that WWE provided, and then you basically do your ring announcing, right? So I did that, and I added the whole hashtag WWE announcer contest to my post. But then in my head, all right, my videos are like basically buried. Like you have to keep scrolling so you can see my video. So I was like, I got to do something else here, but I don't want to keep uploading the same thing over and over again. So I was like, all right, let me just try something here. I'm going to, just upload other things like me announcing John Cena and Roman Reigns, like all in one video, or Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. And to me, my take on that is basically, you know what? It's free to upload a video. And the other part too is, hey, I want to learn how to use TikTok. So I get to record my ring announcing video, create a video on TikTok. And in my head, if somehow WWE sees my profile, maybe they'll see, oh my God, she's really serious. She really wants to win this.
I look at it from a stance. What's very cool about it too is I've always loved it. It's the new little nuances about professional wrestling, whether you're a ring announcer, interviewer. A lot of people say, oh, when people want to get into wrestling, they want to get in the ring. But I'm like, you do realize like how important the ring announcing is and how the announcing is, because it's that verbal standpoint. Because professional wrestling as a whole, you're telling a story with your bodies. But from that verbal standpoint, if you can capture a moment like you did with Big E and Baron Corbin, that is worth the while right there. That hypes it up.
Yeah, you're right. At first, to be honest with you, I became a ring announcer by accident. And honestly, when I started doing it, I realized, like you said, how important the role is, in the professional wrestling world. For example, in the indies, I started working in the indie scene like just this year. And I realized, in smaller shows, people don't really know some of the wrestlers because some of them, they're just on their first match, right? And no one knows about them. And the only way for the audience to know these wrestlers it's from the ring announcer, basically. So to me, if I can do justice of, okay, this person or this wrestler is a heel, I'm going to announce his name this way. And then the crowd gets all like annoyed. I feel like, okay, I did a great job. And then at the same time, if it's a baby face, I try to hype up the crowd more, because that way they would feel like, oh my God, I got to cheer for this person. And after the show, I feel like that's a great way for the wrestlers to be remembered, because somehow, some way, the audience heard their names. Like if the wrestlers don't get a chance to come out and thank the audience, at least somehow the people got their names and they can look them up on social media.
It's amazing also just how you tell, like, I got into ring announcing by accident. Like, and I mean this sincerely and wholeheartedly, because it's interesting, because when people go into whatever endeavor, career and path in life, it's just like, okay, I'll try it out. If it doesn't work, what have you. But it's like, you know what, I'm in here now, the fully commitment, if you will, of it is. And it's just like, all right. And speaking of that, I love that, because when it comes to heels, who's a bigger heel than Baron Corbin in the WWE, right? King, now he's down on his luck, and now he's happy Corbin. Like, I mean, who's a bigger heel than Baron Corbin? I mean, you have to do it for certain superstars, and who better than Baron Corbin, right?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think that me announcing his name at SummerSlam in Las Vegas gave him good luck. I'm just saying. So now that he has money, I think he needs to hire me as his personal ring announcer. I'm just throwing it out there.
Get on that. That put some end of days on that ring announcing. My goodness gracious, there's a deep six for you. There you go. Just put your right in there. Oh, yes. But no, I got to say, first and foremost, for those who have not checked out Raine and Big E and Baron Corbin, that whole entire match was absolutely amazing. And I think what really made it for you is there's the photo going around. Just watching you just jump up, how excited you are, the smiles, the adulation on your face. It made for the moment. And like I said, again, great job. But god dang, man, just watching that video of you jumping up and down, I love that. It brought a smile to my face.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's such an amazing experience. And like I said, I still can't believe it. And I remember, honestly, I didn't find out that I would be announcing Baron Corbin versus Big E until that day, until SummerSlam, which, to be honest with you, it kind of worked out for me, because I feel like had I known what match I'd be announcing, I would probably just overthink it and try to rehearse and then just basically lose the excitement. So to me, it's kind of nice that I found out the day of. So that way, to me, it's like I'm not like trying to like overthink, hey, I should announce it this way and that way. Blah, blah, blah. So and before the actual show, I got the chance to talk to Mike Rome and then to Greg Hamilton, and they were offering me like suggestions as to how I should kind of give justice to Big E and Baron Corbin's name. So that's really nice. And then after the whole kickoff show, I got to enjoy the show ringside. A perfect seat for ringside Raine, if you may. So that's why, to me, it's like the whole SummerSlam experience, not just the ring announcing part. It's amazing. It's unbelievable.
I look at it from a stance too, and here's where I equate that to you, because my first professional wrestling event that I ever attended was in 2002, and it was SummerSlam. Like, here's what people don't realize. Like, everybody talks about WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble and the magic of that, but I'm like, it's the biggest party of the summer. It's SummerSlam. It's one of those big fours, and everybody always talked about SummerSlam. Like I mentioned, SummerSlam 02. Shawn Michaels comes back and beats Triple H after 4 years. 2021, Edge and Seth Rollins. Brock Lesnar returns. It's Roman and Cena. Everything on this card this year had a purpose, and it really showcased throughout the night.
Yeah, it's like such a great show. That's why, to me, it's like, wait, you're telling me I get to be a guest ring announcer for the show? Wait, what? From what we talked about earlier, I became a ring announcer by accident to I'm in a WWE ring being a ring announcer for SummerSlam. It's like, what?
That's the thing too, and I think what's great about it too, like we were talking about making the most of your moment. Like I saw a lot of your stuff. I believe it's Orange County OCCW. God dang, man! I'm checking out your Instagram. One name that popped me was Azriel because I've seen Azriel on the Northeast side of things, Jersey All Pro Wrestling. Rest in peace to Frat Frank. I gotta say, from the interviewer side of things, I really enjoyed seeing that because again, you told the story, you brought a life to the characters. It really showcased yourself not just in the ring from the ring announcing, but behind the scenes. Like I said, you killed it from the indie wrestling thing. And by the way, the hashtag support indie wrestling always stays near and dear to my heart. So I love that hashtag and that whole video you put up.
Thank you. Yeah, that's how I started. OCCW, my promoter, he gave me a chance to be a backstage reporter. That's how I got to interview Azrael and the rest of the guys. And so I started with them in February. And in March, I started with Venue Wrestling Entertainment. And I showed up. The event was like 4 hours away from where we live. We showed up and I asked my promoter, so who am I going to interview tonight? And then he just tells me, we canceled the interview. So in my head, oh no, we drove 4 hours to get here. And I was like, well, it's my second event. You know, I need something, at least I need to do something. And I just remember asking my promoter, well, what else can I do? Because I'm here. And he just said, we don't have a ring announcer. And I just said, well, can I try? And if you don't like it, let me know. I will not do it again. And then I did it for the first match. And he's like, yeah, just do ring announce the rest of the match for the night. And I was like, cool. And in my head, oh my God, he's probably just being nice to me. You know, it's my first time ring announcing. Like, it's okay. You know, he knew we drove 4 hours to get here. It's okay. And the next thing I know, every time he had a show in Orange County as well, he would book me as a ring announcer. And so SummerSlam, to be honest with you, is my 11th event. Like,
okay, I'm sorry, but when the facial expression, 11 events. And here's what I love about this. And again, it's amazing because back in the territory days, a lot of wrestlers would drive 4 hours and end up with nothing. Then you drive all the way back, shit gets canceled, excuse me. But it's like, you know, it happens. But then you felt he was being nice. We're going to do this ring announcing thing. But what's wonderful about that is too, and this goes for everything in life, you don't know until you try. And you tried it out and it paid out. And that's a life lesson that a lot of people can learn from.
yeah, exactly. Because like I said, that was back in March when I had no clue I could do it. But when he said, well, this is the only spot we have. And in my head, well, I better find out now if I can do this, because if not, I won't add it to my resume. So that was back in March. And then, you know, fast forward to July when they had the contest. I was like, you know what? I feel good ring announcing. I love doing it. I might as well try. And, you know, if somehow, some way I win, I get to ring announce at SummerSlam. So, and to be honest with you, I didn't think I would win because, like I said, you have to keep scrolling to find my videos. And at the same time, SummerSlam, you know, well, up until SummerSlam, I'm basically a rookie. I'm a rookie in the indie scenes. Like I said, SummerSlam is my 11th event. So in my head, well, they probably won't choose me because I'm not as experienced as other people. So
Hey, I'll give you a prime example, and she was on the SummerSlam card. Bianca Belair was a rookie in the Mae Young Classic. She was only like a year or two in the business, and she killed it in the Mae Young Classic. And look where she was. I know a lot of people will say what they will say about the Becky Lynch Bianca situation, but I got to say now, it makes for more interesting storylines and great concepts and great matches between the two, and we see that. So I got to say, every match, like we were talking about on the card, told the story, and that was a big moment to see Becky and Brock in the same venue in the same time. Like I said, it must be electric in that arena.
yeah, it's crazy. I mean, no one expected for Becky to come back. No one expected Brock Lesnar to come back. So just the energy inside the arena, it's man, it's crazy. It's not just like one big comeback. You know, you have like two huge comebacks at SummerSlam. So it's really cool to be a part of that.
I got to say, first and foremost, how about Brock Lesnar's hair, man? My goodness gracious, man. Here's the thing. He's someone, he could do that to his hair, and I wouldn't say a damn thing about it. Go ahead, Brock. You want to put it in a ponytail? Okay, do the damn thing, because at the end of the day, he's still a badass. My God, I'm going to say the word. He looked yoked. he absolutely looked yoked. How great was it just to see like that hair? I mean, it's been around there, but my God, Brock with that hair, my goodness.
You know what's funny is that without the music and like, you know, all the graphics that it's Brock Lesnar, I probably wouldn't have recognized him. Because like when I first saw him like coming, you know, coming towards the ring, I was like, that's Brock, I guess. I mean, it's music. And like, and as he kept coming closer, I was like, oh, that is Brock Lesnar.
Hey, it was a weekend for wrestling fans. I mean, it started Friday with the return of CM Punk on AEW, and then we get to Becky and Brock. Now, I'm going to ask you, as a professional wrestling fan, how excited are you? Because we do have All Out coming up, and this is CM Punk's first match in 7 years. He hasn't wrestled since 2014. How cool is that going to be from the wrestling perspective side of things?
Oh, God.
Right?
With CM Punk, like I love his attitude. I love his character. I love listening to him when he's doing his promos. So this is, you know, watching him like years ago. And I mean, to be honest with you, I would still kind of like watch like his promos, especially the anniversary of the whole pipe bomb thing. I would still watch it because he's just like so good, you know? So to be able to like see CM Punk again, like wrestle and just be in his element, to see that attitude again from CM Punk, I'm really excited for it.
It's one of those things for me. Like, I remember, of course, his stuff outside of WWE and Ring of Honor and his tenure there. One thing that I always loved about him, because I was at his debut at the Hammerstein Ballroom when WWE did the new ECW and he was going against Just Incredible. Like, there was always something about him because of those promos, you know, don't let these tattoos fool you. I'm a man of discipline. That stuff hooks you because it's like, okay, this guy is out of the norm. He's just like, all right, I got these tattoos. I'm straight edge. Look at me. I got a Pepsi tattoo, which still is badass to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could gravitate to a gentleman like that.
Yeah, because he's just real. He's just being himself. And to be honest with you, this is why I think a lot of us like CM Punk, because he's stayed true to himself, his character. Honestly, it's not just, I think, staying true to his character, he's staying true to himself. I think that's it, period. I can totally relate to him because I remember when I started ring announcing, part of me was like, okay, do I stick with the rules that a ring announcer should be this and that? And, you know, like as a female ring announcer, I've seen female ring announcers kind of like wear a dress and all that. And I was just like, well, I'm not really like comfortable just because, you know, like in the indies, obviously, you know, sometimes you guys don't have like the, you know, locker rooms and all that. And for me personally, sometimes I would drive straight to a wrestling event from work. So so to me, it's like, okay, what's like the best way to kind of like look like, you know, still me, but like not like I'm coming from work. So to me, at first I was like, do I need to like basically follow like the guidelines? But then to me, I realized, well, you know, this is me, this is my character. And that's what I noticed with professional wrestling. CM Punk is a great example. If you stay true to yourself, people like that more. And honestly, here's a fun fact. At SummerSlam, I actually brought 4 dresses with me. And what people saw me wearing when I stepped in the ring, that's how I look when I got there. But basically, that's how I look at my indie shows. But I offered them, hey, I brought dresses, you know, just in case you guys want me to change, I brought dresses. And they're just like, no, this is perfect. Whatever you have on is perfect. And I was like, are you sure about this? Because like in my head, well, I know like, you know, most female announcers wear dresses. But they're like, no, this is perfect. And I was like, man, okay, that's amazing, because to me, I felt more comfortable because that's me. And honestly, I think that's why I enjoyed the experience more too, because, you know, what you guys saw, that's just me. That's Raine, ringside Raine right there, Raine Cruz right there. You know, I didn't have to be somebody else, you know, or to fit a mold. That was just me right there.
First and foremost, I'm going to say about that outfit, you rocked it badass. You looked very, I mean that with the most sincere respect. You really did look very nice, Raine. And I also look at it from a stance too as well. See, that's commitment right there, because everybody talks about what wrestlers, because you never know if you're going to be on the card. Always bring your ring gear with you. You're just like, hey, I got some dresses. That's preparation. You know what I'm saying? That's organization. That is excellence right there. So I got to say, I love that. Again, you're just, hey, I'm here. You know, just and then boom, you're right there. You know.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I showed up like ready to go. Like I got my makeup done, I got my hair done. I brought extra dresses, and I was just like, I just wanted him to see me as, you know what, Raine showed up, she's our guest ring announcer. She showed up ready to go. And, I didn't want him to worry about, oh my God, like, maybe like, what are you wearing? Like, we need to wear something else. I didn't want him to worry about that. I just wanted him to know that for me, like, I came prepared. This is my opportunity and I'm ready to grab it.
I'm also very curious because we were talking about indie wrestling before. I just want to go back to that for a second because god dang, man, we talked about the California scene, Santino Brothers Academy, Jezebel Romo, Chaos, guys like Jake Atlas, who was in the WWE, killing it there, Ring of Honor. A lot of talents came from that academy. And for me, I was always an independent wrestling fan as a teen. Growing up on Long Island, there was the New York Wrestling Connection where guys like Brian Myers and Matt Cardona came from, and many more. But I look at it from a stance too. It's like a lot of people don't even realize, because it's funny as a wrestling fan, it's like everybody just thinks, oh, WWE or this company, what have you. A lot of people don't even realize like the local indies that are in their town. A lot of people, when they hear that, it's just like, well, just your locals, it's like an underground type of fan base, but then it becomes huge because you realize who came from said indie,
Yeah, to be honest with you, I didn't start going to indie shows until 2019. Like I wasn't aware of it until I heard about it. I used to work at a TV station, and we actually had Jake Atlas. This was before he got signed to WWE, and we had him as our guest, and he promoted a local indie show, and I was like, oh my God, they have local wrestling shows. I need to check this out. And I went with my husband and our friend, and we had so much fun. And I was like, man, this is amazing. Like, we need to find like other like local wrestling shows. And, that's how I, found out about Santino Brothers. And last year, during the pandemic, they had an online class, basically teaching wrestling psychology and how to create promos, how to develop your character. And honestly, that helped me out a lot with my character, with how I kind of like carried myself whenever I showed up at indie promotions. And also when I showed up at WWE, I feel like that's why I wasn't nervous or I wasn't uncomfortable. I was mostly like, you know what, I learned this and I've been going to, indie shows. I will carry myself, the way people carry themselves at, indie shows. And, from Santino Brothers, I met my classmates there. They're all like connected to like local shows too. And one of them connected me with OCCW, and that's kind of like how it started for me. So thank you to like local indie shows, I got my experience, and, everyone, almost everyone in the WWE or Ring of Honor, they got their experience as well.
Look at it from a stance too, and I love how you eloquently put that. It's like, here's the thing: if nobody has seen Santino Brothers on YouTube, and a lot of wrestling companies don't do this. It's one-on-one. I'm going to give you a tutorial about what we do, and then boom, here's some action. Like, that is how they do it, and I love that because, and again, I've seen a lot of independent wrestling YouTube and social media. It's like a lot of people really don't do that. We'll go on Instagram Live. Here's our seminar. Here's what we do. That is a great tool for people to learn here and in here, and it's the whole eyes and ears shit. You know what I'm saying? It's the standard, but it's like, yeah, like I love the way how they operate and how they train their talent.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, even though the class that I took was online, I learned a lot. Like, I remember when we had our promo class, I was so nervous to do my promo. And mind you, it was on Zoom, right? And there was a point wherein we can kind of come in prepared and do our promos. And then we had one exercise wherein he'll literally just like give you a topic, and then you have like a few minutes, and then you like do your promo. And I remember I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, like I gotta cut a promo. But at the same time, I've kind of like realized, well, the thing is, if you want to do this in front of people, you should be able to do this in front of like 20 people on Zoom staring at their camera as if they're looking at you. So that to me, it's like our coach, Joey, he really like pushed us and, basically helped us like understand that wrestling is not just about like the action that you see in the ring. It's about the whole show, like all the characters that come together to basically create that show that people see. It's telling a story throughout the show.
Exactly. And I've seen Joey do a lot of those videos. And again, he's so eloquent. He's so smart. And also, you brought up another great point I have to mention because it's like, it doesn't matter with indies because you could be at like an FIP show, Full Impact Pro in Florida, right? And I've seen a lot of their shows. Sometimes there'll be only 50 people in the crowd. And like you were talking about cutting a promo in front of 20 people, it's like, it doesn't matter how many people are in the crowd. These people paid to have a show. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to entertain for the 50 people or the 50,000 people. So that's just a great mindset to have. And it really is showcased throughout your work.
Yeah. I mean, because like at the end of the day, if people will know if you like what you're doing or not. People will see your passion. People will know if you enjoy what you're doing or not. So, like you said, it doesn't matter how many people are watching. Honestly, this is what Triple H told me. Just have fun, enjoy the moment. And to me, the same energy that I felt whenever I would go to my indie shows, with like 20, 30, 40, 50 people. It's the same energy that I felt when I went to SummerSlam inside the WWE ring. And I think it's because, like what Triple H said, I was just basically having fun because it was something, it's something that I love to do. And so now to me, it's like, oh my God, yeah. Like at first I was like, wait, SummerSlam, there's a lot more people. Can I really do it? But then, the mindset now has changed. It's just basically having fun, doing something we love to do. It doesn't matter how many people are watching.
I gotta say, what's great about you as well, and I mean this with the utmost sincerity and respect to you. You have a way of engaging with people, and it showed through SummerSlam. No, and I truly mean this. For someone who, again, who started, we're talking about back in March, and I got into it by accident. Oh, I saw an indie show back in 2019. Again, what I admire about that too is because there's so many outlets of getting into professional wrestling now. Like I'll use it from the female standpoint. Reality shows. People can watch, oh, if they don't know about the Bella Twins or if they don't know about Total Divas or what have you, they can watch it and say, hey, I like Natalia, I like so-and-so. I want to give WWE a shot. So there's so many outlets there where it's just like, you have to go to the wrestling school, what have you. Reality television has really become like a big factor in how a lot of talents get involved in the professional wrestling world.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I still don't get why Logan Paul like shows up at WWE.
Even I'll put my hands up at that. Here's the thing with Logan Paul. I understand the YouTube and he has his podcast and stuff and he has all these followers, but I don't get it. I don't get him and his brother either. I stayed corrected with you on that as well because I'm not the biggest Logan Paul fan. I admire the guy for wanting to get into boxing and doing it up crap, but I don't like that guy. And I'll say that he got the deserved booze that he got. And that was so funny because I'm watching him and the Miz and Morrison on Raw and everything. And I'm just like, you're establishing Miz, he turned on his friend John Morrison being the heel. I'm like, but this dude is such an uber heel and he's so you just want to smack him. And it's like with the Miz, it's like you just turned Miz babyface and heel in one fell swoop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's the thing sometimes. I think, when I see people who are like you said, like reality stars and, like celebrities who like go to WWE, and I don't mind that, but if it's too much that it's taking airtime from people who have worked, paid their dues in the indies to have that spotlight, that to me, I think is kind of like, oh, come on. Like, I want to see someone who like, really wants this and not someone who's just using this to, promote their shows.
Right. And it reminds me of like when WWE did the celebrity guest host back in the day. Like when Bob Barker was on, okay, it's Bob Barker. He's funny and he took it serious and him and Chris Jericho had that magic. When you have a guy like Jeremy Piven come on and say Summerfest as opposed to SummerSlam, it's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. And in current times here, Bad Bunny took that so seriously and he was amazing at WrestleMania. He took it seriously. He trained with Carino, he trained with Adam Pearce, and he was gold. You know what I'm saying? If you have someone like a Bad Bunny doing his thing, I'm all for it. If there's other people that just, waste time like a Logan Paul, just get the F out. I'll put it like that. The old WWE slogan there. That's how I gladly put that, and appropriately speaking.
Yeah, Bad Bunny really like set the standard, like a really high standard for like a celebrity to be in the WWE. Like if you really want to, be there, at least kind of put in the work, like learn some moves. Don't just be like, hi, and like, no, like do something.
Exactly. Well, I look at it from a stance too, like when WWE had Snooki in 2011. Now, I understood that made sense because that was the Jersey Shore at its height. You know what I'm saying? That was its peak. She only did one move. She did she did like the handstand into the splash, and I was okay with that because I'm like, they didn't let this girl wrestle. She got a moment. Good. That's how you told it. I'm all right with that. But if you're going in there, and I'm gonna say this because I know Stephen Amell, he tried. He did the one move with Neville at SummerSlam back in like 2015. But when he did that match with Christopher Daniels, and I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of like 50-50 on Stephen Amell. But yeah, it's a thing. You know what I'm saying? I've always kind of had that. I mean, take it back to 80s with Andy Kaufman, the intergender champion of the world, but what he did with Jerry Lawler made sense. It was funny, and it also made for the times, you know?
Yeah, I remember there was a point too when I think they were at Staples Center here in LA, and at that time, Lonzo Ball was like the #1 draft, I think, or number
Yes,
two,
I know where
whatever.
you're going with
And
this.
then like LeVar Ball just had to be like in the ring, and like I was like, and you know how like LeVar Ball is like great. I
Yes.
don't want to say great, but like he like loves to talk, I guess. And he had to cut a promo, and he looked like really awkward in the ring.
I think that was the one where he took his shirt off too, right? My goodness.
I think so.
Oh my God, you're bringing back bad memories. But yes, I do remember that.
But I think I guess like from WWE's perspective, it's like trying to kind of like ride the wave of pop culture,
Gotcha.
But it's fine, I guess, but like not too much. Because again, you don't want to take the airtime of putting the spotlight on people who can wrestle. Because again, we went there, we tune into that channel because we wanted to watch wrestling.
Well, kind of, sort of, you're kind of in that pop culture reign there, Miss Raine Cruz, Miss Ringside Raine, because you're like Tupac and Dr. Dre. You got the California Love, and like the iconic album states, you got All Eyes on You at SummerSlam. So there's a whole circle for you, huh?
Oh God, yeah. Well, here's the thing. Someone actually created a meme of there's Raine at WrestleMania, and then there's also Raine at SummerSlam, which is
Okay, that's cute. That's funny. All right, that's funny. Well, here's the thing too. When you're coming back from this pandemic that we've had, and it's been nuts. It's been a crazy year, and then you rain, because of course it's gonna rain. You know what I'm saying? Of course it does.
yes, and I think that's the kind of Raine that people hated, and at least I think for me, somehow not a lot of people hated me.
I'm serious, and I'm going to say this right now, just because, and this is the utmost sincerity and respect. Hire this girl. Hire her. WWE. I truly mean that. I'm going to say this because you were good. You nailed it out of the park for Miss. I only done this 11 times. You killed it, and I respect that about you. Because god dang, man, I was doing some searching before we even got on the show. I saw your YouTube channel. You're doing predictions. You were doing a lot of great stuff on your YouTube channel, and it transitioned into the TikTok. But I got to say, YouTube channel quality, Miss Raine, quality.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, to be honest with you, my YouTube channel, I've had it for years, and I've always wondered, what do I do with it? I'm just like uploading like random videos that I have. And sometime in 2019, I was just like, you know what? I've been, because I have a TV production background, I've been trying to like apply for WWE. It's not happening. What else can I do? And I remember just like watching Raw, I believe at that time, and I just see Asuka, and I'm like, maybe I can be her manager. Because at that time, Paul Heyman was Brock Lesnar's manager. And I just love Paul Heyman. And I was like, man, if I can be like Paul Heyman for Asuka, like that'd be great. So I started recording like my promos as Asuka's wrestling manager. And then from there, I kind of transitioned into like my wrestling recaps and predictions. And, fun fact, my very first one was of SummerSlam 2019. So
Circle.
it's crazy, right? And then so to me, I saw it as, you know what? I'm in my kitchen. They can see my fridge, like the Keurig in the background. I have like wrestling pictures, sure. But I just kind of saw it as, you know what? It's free to upload a video. This will be a good practice for me because in my head, I really want to get into WWE, whether it be behind the camera or, I mean, I would prefer like in front of the camera, like, as a character, because that's, what I really want to do. But to me, it's like, you know what? I can't just start right there. You can't start right at you have to build up to your dream, basically. So to me, it's like, well, what's the best way to do this? Then record a video, practice talking and practice how I present myself in front of the camera. And to be honest with you, that really helped me with how to carry myself. And when I took that class with Santino's, like I learned more from that. And then when I got linked up to my promoter at OCCW, Orange County Championship Wrestling, I had my YouTube channel. And so he was able to see, oh, Raine, oh, you can do that. That's why he said, oh, yeah, you should maybe try interviewing the wrestlers, be a backstage reporter. So, YouTube in a way, or not just YouTube, but social media, sometimes if we utilize it the right way, it can help us, get our reps, get our practice, and, do some, basically kind of find more use of it aside from just like, being, because I mean, I'm guilty of it too. Sometimes I'm just like staring at it, like scrolling an hour later, still scrolling. But sometimes you can use that time to create content or, just to practice, and you'll never know where it's going to take you.
Of course, first and foremost, I understand that because social media can be very addicting. No, there's usage to the social media. I absolutely concur with you on that. And first and foremost, who's a better influence than Paul Heyman? Because the man, his facials, the way he speaks about Brock and now being the tribal chief for Roman Reigns, like everything that Paul Heyman touches turns to gold, and he's absolutely amazing. He's a very creative, evil genius, as I've said for many years. But goddamn, man, you actually just put the thought in my head. Being Asuka's manager, be kind of like TNA had Raisha Saeed, and she was with Awesome Kong, who just retired, who's another amazing talent. But Awesome Kong, she just had that facials. All she had to do was look mean. You know what I'm saying? And Raisha Saeed is just like, this is what Awesome Kong feels. Like you could do like, this is what Asuka feels. The translator, the type of mouthpiece, I got to say, that would be a nice little mix and a nice little mesh,
Yeah, like honestly, I love Asuka. I love how, with her, I love how she can really justify her character just by her facial expressions and the way she moved, and like all like the way she taunts like her opponent if she's a heel. I mean, you'll know she's a heel by the way she taunts her opponent, but then you'll also know that she's a face when she just by her different facial expressions. So to me, it's like, man, I could be the mouthpiece for that. I love that.
Well, I think what's great about her too, and what I always love, when she first came onto the NXT roster, like the only little subtlety, every time you knew you were in trouble, she just had to give that smile. That's all you needed to do. Let the ring work show, but all you needed that smile and you knew you were in trouble. It was simplistic at best. And it was great. It really showcased their talents over the years.
Yeah, because sometimes, you don't have to do like a grand act to get a reaction. Sometimes, it's just as simple as a smile can do justice, and can really deliver a strong message.
To equate it, it's kind of like back in 2003 when Vince McMahon fought Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania, right? Everybody talks about just coming up from the ring and he's got the crimson mask, Vince with that evil smile. It's that moments that create, that'll last a lifetime because you know where you were when you saw Hulk McMahon and just the crimson mask, because it's one of those things where it's like that visual hooks everybody, and that stare down. Look at Rock and Hogan from WrestleMania 18. The stare down, everybody started going nuts. Later days, and Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family. It hooks you. It hooks you. You don't even have to touch.
Yeah, that is true. Sometimes it's just that presence, that the fans get it. And you're doing a great job when a simple look, a simple smile, you get a reaction.
Exactly. Well, I got to say, Miss Raine, your smile lit up the world at SummerSlam, Las Vegas, Nevada. I would gamble and I said you won. You hit the jackpot. Forward to seeing what you continue to do on the ringside side of things and the announcing side of things. And I'm going to say this right now. The floor is yours before we promote the social media. Anytime you want to come back on the show, you're more than welcome. It's been a pleasure and a privilege to pick your brain tonight.
Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Like, I love to share, my story, my SummerSlam experience, and need to talk wrestling with you guys. To be honest with you, I really feel grateful to be able to share my story because it's, I worked hard to make it to the indie scene, and with this contest, it made me feel like I'm on the right track, and sometimes we think that it is impossible because your dream's too big. And honestly, nothing is impossible once you take the first step and, you put in the hard work. So I'm grateful I get to share like my story, how I started and how I made it to SummerSlam. So thank you. Thank you.
Very welcome. I will say this, your hard work does not go unnoticed. So keep on doing what you're doing and keep grinding, my friend, and shining, because it does showcase throughout your overall being and through your overall work. So now this is where I will step back. Please promote the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the TikTok, the YouTube, all forms of social media where we can check you out. The floor is yours. Go ahead, Raine.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. So you guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube at Ringside Rain. And that's Rain with an E.
So you got to add the E to it. I like that. First and foremost, everybody talks about the rain. Nobody talks about raindrops keep falling on your head. Roman Reigns, rain with an E. Like, times you got to switch it up, man. It ain't all just about the raindrops. It's about the rain, and you're raining on them. All the puns going with that. I love that. Ringside Rain really does showcase that. That's nice. It's like an R&R. Instead of rest and relaxation, let's talk about Ringside Rain. You know, you hear that? There you
That's awesome.
So, Raine, a couple final things as well. Do you have any final words to the fans that have been supporting you throughout this entire experience, the entire love, the admiration that people have shown you going into SummerSlam and your overall hard work? Do you have any final words for the fans?
Oh God, I just want to say thank you to everyone who have supported me since 2019 when I started uploading my videos as Asuka's manager and I started doing my wrestling recap videos. I've made so many friends because I, created those videos and people see them and we started talking about wrestling. I've made friends outside the United States, here in the US, because we all love wrestling. And I think that to me is one of the great things that happened because I pursued my dream. I met people who, love the same thing that I love. And I'm really grateful for their support because they were with me since day one when I had like 5 followers, And I don't know if like people were watching my videos and they were very supportive of me when I started working in the indie scene this year and then eventually to SummerSlam. So thank you to everyone that I've met with during this journey, guys and girls that I've met in the indie scene. I remember when I started in my head, oh my God, I'm just the reporter or I'm just the ring announcer, but they never made me feel that way. They welcomed me with open arms and they made me feel like, you know what? No, your role is also important. Yes, you are not wrestling with us, but guess what? Your role plays an important part in the show. And I, because I felt that to me, it's like, you know what? I'm going to do the best that I can because I found my purpose in wrestling. And I know it's kind of like cheesy to say, but every time I ring announce, every time I'm working a wrestling event, I just feel my purpose. So thank you to those of you who have supported me and, just really believed in me. Because sometimes, like I said, sometimes you feel like, I don't know where this is going, man. And then, next thing you know, people are like telling you, hey, don't give up because we believe in you. And that to me means a lot. So thank you.
Very welcome. First and foremost, that is not cheesy at all. Wrestling brings a lot of people together. It's a family. It's a community. Wrestling here, and we're doing this interview, so please, not cheesy at all. And the last thing I will say about this: people be united, not divided. Not just in wrestling, but in life. And as I always say in my shows, beauty, strength, and dominance, the 3 key elements that make women the work of art that they are. And Raine, Cruz, rain on them. I include you in those sentiments. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Talk to you next episode, guys.